What's up, guys? How's everyone doing today? Wherever you are in the world, I say welcome. It's Friday, August 28th, 10:30 a.m. here in Sydney, Australia. Guys, as you're tapping in, just like the video, Chilltown's going to come on. TJ, I see you in the background, so I'm going to bring you on. Give me just 1-2 minutes of promo real quick. If you haven't joined our world famous JSB professional betting Discord, do that now. It's a couple bucks a month. I'm going to leave the link pinned in the chat. You can either join on YouTube or Patreon. Also, boys, if you're a VIP on YouTube or Patreon and you're not in the Discord, DM me and I'll send you the link. We're a little over a year old. We're approaching 650 VIPs. We stream all the fights in there. It's not just boxing, MMA. It's all pro sports. Boxing's our wheelhouse. A little bit sped up version of the intro today because we're going to get right to work. I'm going to bring TJ on and we'll just get this thing started. Let's go. My man.
Yo,
How
Johnny,
you
what's up,
doing?
bro?
What's
Good,
up? How are
man.
you?
No,
Good, man.
I like the last minute spontaneous. I just hit you up real quick, like, oh, you're gonna do it live?
Yeah.
And I had some free time, and like the boxing matches this weekend are three of the cards are amazingly matched, which is a rarity. We usually get a bunch of blowouts and some boring stuff, but there's
Yeah.
some really, really good fights going on.
I agree. And to your first point, man, not many people. I think there's maybe one, maybe two who always have an open invite, and you're one of them. So whenever you,
Whoa, whoa,
all
whoa.
you ever have to do is message me.
Who's the other?
Julius knows.
Ah,
Jay knows boxing.
Yeah, no, he's good.
Julius. Yeah, whenever he wants to pop on, he
thank
can.
you. Yeah, thank
Oh
you.
no, man! It's like I said. Every time I check the messages from you, I was like, let's do this because and you're right, man. This is a weekend full of boxing with good matchups. Like for us, for like the hardcores, because there's a lot of guys that might not be household names, but like two of my favorite fights are like guys that most people don't know of. I know you know who they are, so we're gonna be tested as betters. You know what I'm saying? Like this is another weekend where, you know,
That's the difficult part because
yeah,
sometimes I know, like, you just want to enjoy the fights, and then
I
when
know.
you are betting, it's like, are you enjoying it, or are you really just waiting for a potential outcome? That's the double-edged sword of, and all week long, what are we doing? We're staring at odd screens, trying to pick value. I mean, that to me is not enjoyable. I really don't like doing that. I just love watching tape, figuring out stylistic matchups, and seeing what's going to be great or not. I don't like getting bombarded all the time with, hey, do you like this parlay? Which one would you leave off? It's like, it gets
Yeah,
old. I know, you
yeah,
go through it nonstop.
y-
Yeah.
yeah,
Because we're both pure boxing heads. So it's like, we just
yeah.
love boxing, but
You,
we got
you know
dragged
what?
into this. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yeah, and what a problem to have, right? what a
Yeah,
what a
I know.
what a
Yeah. It's
great
not,
what a
yeah.
great problem to have. But what it's allowed me to actually do over the last year, what I found myself is it's really forced me to make sure that I don't become a sort of glazer of any specific fighter because if I wasn't putting my bets out there, if I wasn't betting on it, it's easy to kind of drink the juice of certain styles or hype trains. And I think
Yeah.
one of the things that we do really well is like there
It
is
rules
no
out your
loyalty.
bias. Yeah, it
Yeah,
rules out
there's
your
no
bias because you will not win. You will not be
yeah,
consistent winner if you're going to have bias towards, believe it or not, promotional companies. You know, yeah, countries.
promotional
Yeah,
countries,
Filipinos are
styles.
always siding with Filipino, but no
Yeah.
matter how blinded it may. And that's with a lot of nationalities or countries or whatever. But you can't. You're
Well,
not going to be consistently winning if you have blinders on breaking down tape.
yeah, we had one of the boys came on last night for a bit named Eli. He's in our Discord, and he's was breaking down the opposite end of the Corey Marksman matchup with Beretta,
Mm-hmm.
and he was he was saying he's Puerto Rican. The our guy who jumped on and he was giving positive feedback on Beretta and giving him a path to victory, and a lot of people took that like they weren't able to see like, hey man, he's not saying Beretta's going to win. He's, it's important to have discourse when I'm saying one guy's going to win. And just because the other guy who says he's Puerto Rican is complimenting a Puerto Rican fighter, people instantly went to the, oh,
No.
he's only saying
Yeah.
that because
Look,
he's Puerto Rican.
I appreciate that information. I want as much information
Yeah.
on the opponent that you can possibly get. So if he has information, he's Puerto Rican, even whether he thinks he's going to win or lose, that's great. You think he's going to win? Explain to me. Tell me why. I'm open ears. I'm open minded.
Same.
I want to know. Yeah,
And on
I
that
want to
note,
know.
Let's start there if you don't mind. Marksman
Yeah.
and Beretta, the boys know what I've been seeing all week. It'd be awesome to hear your take.
Yeah, and they just had weigh-ins. I watched weigh-ins. They both look great. They both weighed in under the 135-pound weight class. I'm pretty sure I know in his last fight there was a lot of banter back and forth with Corey Marksman and his opponent. I know I picked Corey. I thought Corey really shone out. And
Yeah,
his opponent looked great too.
Gomez,
But
Jacob looked really good, man.
yeah, Jacob looked really good.
Yeah,
Someone really needs to sign him, man, because they
yeah.
both leveled up. They both look contender status in that fight. Um, Corey Sharp, man, he's sharp. And you know what I like about him? Not that he has a style of Jahai Tucker, but he has the athleticism. He can box when he needs to box, and he can inside fight and dog it out. He's got power in both hands. He knows how to use the jab. He's very well rounded, like a Jahai Tucker, if that makes sense. Or he's strong too. He just does, and he can go through different gears. And he's intelligent. And I liked him in his rematch where he really learned from the rematch that he had. And
With the
last,
draw.
yeah, with the draw. Yeah, I believe it was Tony Aguilar.
Mm.
But yeah, he's just improving. He's improving. I like Corey. I like Corey here. I think he's gonna be too sharp, too fast, but his opponent does have a wicked good left hook. If watch it, he's got power and he likes to engage, he likes to throw. So but that's not new for Corey. It's not like he hasn't seen that before.
That's exactly what I saw when I was watching Beretta, his opponent, is that one of the hesitations I have. Obviously, I like Marksman. I took him on the money line. I think I got him at the line really hasn't moved. I got him at 28% on my book. He's down to 25% return. And the only hesitation, which I think is fair, is if Beretta's power is real, like he thinks it is, like his camp thinks it is, the lead hook he has is sneaky. He doesn't telegraph it. It's sharp. It's tucked away. He could throw. Not all guys can land a power shot in close proximity. And the thing about Corey is he kind of entertains a firefight.
Yeah.
But if he wanted to, he could stay on the outside and use his tools but he won't. And
that's what I was saying with the Jahai
Yeah.
Tucker, where you can see Jahai knows how to box, but then sometimes he wants to engage in a dogfight and like test his, he likes to dig. Yeah. And Marksman does the same thing. Like you could see he's good enough, he's smart enough to control the action, but he also likes to, if he gets one, he likes to give it back.
There's something Marksman does that you don't see a lot, and I started, I saw it in the two fights before Gomez, but how he will glide in and out of range, punching and then switching stances. And Gomez was really struggling with that. He would slide in and out of range, orthodox, push Gomez back, and then when Gomez would try to angle, he would go southpaw and catch that corner and angle,
Yeah.
and then keep working. And I'm
Very
like,
cute,
that takes
cute stuff.
yeah, it takes
Very
a
skilled.
high level.
Yeah, high
very
level skill. Yeah, and very athletic.
It's good to see him get a main event, man, because we've known about him for a little while now, and they're wrapping this card around him. I think his style.
In Florida.
He's young.
He's
young.
Yeah, he's yeah.
I think he's 26, maybe he's 26, maybe just turned 26. And if Beretta's power is real, though, it'll be good to see Corey, because if Gomez had a little bit more power, once Corey realized that Gomez power wasn't going to affect his strategy, Gomez didn't have the firepower to back Corey up and make him go to a plan B.
I think he was
but
coming up in weight for that.
It was nip and tuck for like the first four.
Yeah, no, it was definitely even. It was an evenly matched fight. And then I thought Corey started nicking the rounds. Yeah, started taking over.
Do you have a play on this fight?
Nah, I like Corey. I just like Corey Marksman here. I don't know how he's gonna win. Like I would somewhat be shocked if he did get the knockout. I do think it goes distance, but I wouldn't be ruled down either if he really levels up, man. He's accurate with his punching. He really is. Got some great counters. So and that's another thing, right? If I take the distance, but I really like Corey Marksman, I don't want to. Then all of a sudden, I'm rooting for the knockout. It's like, well, because I want to see him get the knockout, but I probably think it goes distance. But so I'm cool with I'm cool with just taking Corey.
You know what I had to learn. What I've learned a lot over the last year of the Discord, and this is kind of just. I guess it's just a realization is that you bring up a good point there about you like Marksman on the money line, you like him as a fighter, and you don't want a prop to affect sort of how you look at the fighter. And before I started the Discord, I didn't realize you see guys who pick guys and then they'll start talking trash about them even though they won, but it's not like the shit talk is about the fighter. It's like the prop didn't hit. Like he
Yeah.
should have got the
People get
knockout.
salty. Yeah.
But
Look,
which is fair. It's
yeah,
fair
that's
enough
fair.
though, you know?
That's fair.
But
Look, if I'm going to
yeah,
take a
it's
prop,
interesting.
Johnny, it's either I'm extremely confident in it, or I think the books are I have completely mispriced it where it has to be played. For example, Boots and Karen in the rematch. I thought the Boots points in the rematch was like +4, +500. I thought, you know what, Boots is going to learn. Boots is probably going to knock him out. But I was like, this is completely mispriced. He already went the first off, so I had to play points in the rematch. Not so that was one of those where, you know, I thought something was mispriced, but you know, he really should have stopped him in the rematch.
Do you see anything this weekend on that exact note? Do you see anything, any prop that you feel is misplaced that maybe nobody's talking about? Because props are volatile, bro. Like I had to learn the hard way over the last year. But when I got into, you know, I went from just a simple money line guy. You know, that's how I, you know, butter my bread and you know, finding a dog here and there, like a +200 dog sort of thing. To I got fancy about a couple months ago trying to get, you know, playing the prop market, and I wasn't adjusting my unit. I was,
Yeah,
and
you
I
can
had to
get
learn the
crushed
hard
doing
way.
that. Yeah, you
Yeah,
get
man,
crushed
I
doing
learned the
that.
hard way. So I had to make this adjustment of going like, you know, figuring out, you know, if I'm playing prop quarter unit rather
Yeah.
than
Yeah, no,
getting
you
big
can't. Yeah.
eyed.
Yeah.
So
You
it's
know,
volatile, the props, man.
something I do like that I've, you know, with props you have to dig a little more, do a little more tape, especially if you're looking for a specific method of victory. But I was looking at Caroline Dubois, her opponent, Amelia Morris. Actually, you know, I don't know if it was priced off of her box rec, which is really weak, but this girl on tape, she can fight. She has a ton of experience, amateur, and she's been doing the Team Combat League. I don't know why Caroline Dubois, she hasn't had many knockouts recently. I don't know why she's favored to get the knockout. I think this can be competitive at some points, and I like that prop to go points and distance. I don't know if you
How
watched a
about
million more at all. I don't think many people have.
well, it's interesting. So I made after the last few weeks. You know, I'm going into this weekend. And I'm not going to play. I'm not playing any of the lady fights. And it's no shade to the ladies, just my own adjustment. I got burned a couple weeks in a row on, you know, getting a bit too trigger happy on some things. But I was looking at this morning. I was going over the props, and this is one when we rarely ever see for a ladies fight. Will the fight go the distance at 50-50? Will it
Yeah.
go the distance? Yes. Will it go the distance? No. At 50-50, especially when the line, the chalk, Caroline's a 6% on the money. It's crazy.
And Amanda
So what do
Serrano,
you make of that?
we just saw she was in a position where she was supposed to get the knockout. She
Yeah,
was
bro.
supposed to have a
Yep.
record for the knockouts. You know, they brought
Yep.
in somebody that's been stopped before. And not only did she not get the knockout, she almost lost the fight.
She almost lost the fight. And
And
and you know, you kind of check yourself. You know, I'm always a guy looking for a silver lining. It's like, yeah, for me at least, yeah, you bet on a 37-year-old girl with so much tread
we
on the
see it.
tires
We've seen
to
her washed. Her performances have been
I know,
slow. Like
I
she's
know.
out of her prime. And that's the problem. You get somebody out of their prime and they're eventually going to have a cliff fall. And that was almost her cliff fall moment. You know, she was able, luckily she changed it from 10 to 12 rounds. I think that saved her.
So the boys are asking, I'm just going to answer this
Go
question.
ahead. Yeah.
RA says, so you're not taking Terry Harbor. It's just for me personally, boys, this week, it's a hill. You know, we all
Yeah.
have to have
There's so
boundaries.
many fights, Johnny. Yeah.
There's
You
so many
don't want to
fights.
do the,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. You
I'm
got,
not taking any action this weekend on the lady fights. I'm covering them. If you want to ask me my read, I'll give you my read. But all the boys who see my tickets, this is why you're not seeing any
that's
of
the
the.
MVP card. Yeah. You know, you got
Yeah.
the Queensberry card and then you
Uh-huh.
have the ProBox. So the ProBox card is one of the best cards, you know, of the weekend.
100%, man.
Yeah.
What's a fight on the Pro Box card you're looking forward to?
I'm really liking Najee Lopez and
Talk to
Carrillo.
me.
Yeah, I mean, you got these both heavy-handed, undefeated fighters. Obviously I like Jordan White and Luis Torres. That's another banger of a fight.
Okay.
Yeah,
Can we talk about Najee and Kirill?
yeah, of course, yeah, yeah.
Talk to me what you're seeing here.
I thought his last fight was like a fight of the year contender. For anyone that didn't watch Najee Lopez and Manny Gallegos, what an
Bro.
incredible fight. There was so many momentum swings, and they both leveled up. They both looked phenomenal. I thought they both
That was the
looked.
best I've seen Gallegos. Gallegos went from a guy that people, the Kalel Co win, but then the loss at home,
Yeah,
and then I've never he fought so brave in his durability, and you know what with Najee, man, people think, and if they did watch that fight, which we did, people then right now, and I'm noticing all week, there's this misconception that is Najee, that's all Najee. Najee chose to fight like that. Like he has skills that sometimes I feel Najee could have fought way different that fight. We've seen him fight a little bit more from the outside before.
he got dragged into a Mexi fight, man.
He kind of talked about it after, man, with a big cut and blood, and he was
Oh
asked
yeah,
about it. He was like, "I like it," and some guys just like it, and Gallegos just didn't have quite the pop to make him pay.
yeah, yeah. That's kind of because they question Lopez's chin, right? Because he's been dropped before.
He's been dropped. Yeah,
but look, Manny Gallegos. Did you guys see what he did to Khalil Coe's face and body? Like this guy is stumping, man. Gallegos can crack. He's a big boy too. He's a big dude. So there's like no shade in that. Yeah.
Do you think Carrillo punches harder than Gallegos?
No, I don't. I really don't.
Neither do I, man.
Yeah, I've seen Carrillo before live. I saw him in New York. I forgot who he fought. He's never really impressed me. I think he's from Colombia. And a lot of those Colombian fighters, Venezuelan fighters, they're known for like a heavy hand, a heavy backhand, which he has. They got heavy hands, but they're a little bit slower. And I'll tell you what, his last fight, he looked so lethargic. I forget the fighter he fought, but I know his nickname because it was Black Boy. I just thought that was so funny. It's like a Latin American thing. His nickname was Black Boy. Which is funny. Latin America, who is it? Luis Torres. His nickname's Coreano because he looks Asian.
Yeah.
So they call him Korean. Yeah. You say that shit over here, you get canceled. Yeah.
Well, Jalil Hackett.
Yeah.
Jalil Hackett's nickname. Nick, the Black Mexican.
Fights like a Black Mexican.
Yeah.
He looked great last fight. But the guy that Carrillo fought, I'm sorry. I don't know his.
You're not talking about the
Ecuadorian. No. He was from, I think, Ecuador. His last fight, Carrillo won by knockout. He was losing that fight. Yeah. He was getting hurt and pieced up. I'm blanking on the guy's name. I just knew his nickname, I'm saying. But I'm saying Carrillo did not look good. And I know people can tell me Lopez didn't look good maybe in the Gallegos fight. I thought he still looked good. I just thought Gallegos looked great. So I would think from those two fights, I would pick Gallegos to beat that version of Carrillo that I just saw. So, and then I'm definitely going to pick the version of Lopez that I just saw. I mean, you're only as good as your last fight. So I like Lopez here. Does he stop him? Does he go the distance? That's another one. I don't know, but I just think Lopez is faster. I think he hits harder. I think he has a better boxing IQ. I can't see anything that Carrillo does better. Maybe he has a heavier back, and maybe one punch power, but then you're banking on him getting caught.
Carrillo's tape is not impressive. Like when I was breaking Carrillo down, the last fight you talked about, but in a fight, did you watch the Van Sicklen fight?
Yeah, where he got a draw. Yeah,
I think they gave him a split. I think he won a split.
Oh, was it a split? Sicklen. Yeah,
and he got dropped in the 7th bad. And like when his style, like he needs things at a certain temperature. He likes he's one of those guys where things have to be his way, where he's looking for shots sometimes. Sometimes he has these lulls in output and he's trying to be too fresh. He gets loopy with his punches. His chin is high. I think he's tailor-made. I think Najee, and he's still young too. I think Najee is only 26.
26. Maybe. Yeah, I'm looking right now.
And so what does that mean? That means in a grown-ass man division, we're watching a guy who's 26. You got to expect each time we see Najee at this stage of his career, he's probably going to be a little bit better with each fight. I don't think he's hit his ceiling. I think it's fair to say that Najee, with more wins, more main event spots, getting closer and closer to the top. Did you hear what Robert Garcia said about him?
No, what did he say? No.
Shout out to RGBA, man. When he talks, he's one of the few people when he talks, I listen, man. I love his perspective on things. I don't know if it's because I was a body puncher and I like and guys coming out of his gym are notorious, body snatchers. But he was talking about Najee's position he's in with how old the division is and the turnover that's going to happen in the next couple years. Najee is putting himself in a position with another, 1 or 2 viral performances to stake claim to be the guy for years to come in that division. He looks at him in that sort of regard.
175? Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, all the old heads, they're all leaving, right?
Yeah,
Bivol,
and he's
Callum Smith,
marketable.
Beterbiev,
He's
they're all gone.
they're
Yeah.
all about to turn over. He's
Yeah.
marketable. His fan friendly style. He has a following, and I just don't think Carrillo like. I'm always open to taking the dog. I'm always open to people entertaining me. Julius Jay was on here. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I think he said I think he likes Carrillo here. I think he did say he likes Carrillo, and you
I
know,
mean, he put his on game with Chamberlain over O'Leary. So
oh
he
yeah,
makes he
yeah.
makes
He was
sense
out
when
there
he
watching.
talks.
I mean,
Yeah.
He was watching Irish TV.
I mean, but I've been watching Carrillo for a minute though. Like I've never been impressed with Carrillo, but there's some
Yeah.
things that Najee Lopez does where I'm like, oh, I see flashes of, oh man, this guy's got some world class ability. He just needs to tighten things up. Yeah,
Jay says
I,
would have struggled.
I don't know about that. Look, Delgado, that was really Delgado's first step up, and I'm telling you again, like I'm watching Carrillo. I'm like, if Carrillo didn't get that knockout, I'm like, he was on his way to losing that fight. I was not impressed with Carrillo at all. He just looked so slow,
He
pushing
looks
his shots.
sluggish.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
pushing his shots. I don't know if he had a bad weight cut. And I know he's got heavy hands, but against who, right?
Mm-hmm. So Julius Carrillo versus Lopez is good. Okay, so this is what and Julius is reading my mind because I was going to ask you this question. So guys, this is for the boys who might be torn on taking the winner. If you like, this is kind of an option. Will the fight go the distance or not? Julius says it goes the distance. I've heard sides to both. What's your take on this?
I mean, it makes sense, right? They both have
It's plus money.
never been stopped,
Look,
right? They both have
yeah.
never been. So
How old's Carrillo now? 33 or
I
no?
don't
Is
know.
he?
I'll
I'll
tell you
check.
right now.
I
Yeah, he's
okay.
33. Yeah, he's
Okay,
33.
so what does that mean? To me, a guy who's 33 in this position versus a guy like Najee who I think just turned 26, it's hard for me to believe that Carrillo is going to add anything to his game, that I'm going to see any different version of him that we've never seen before. And is there degradation? Is he going to be able to stand up and kind of be able in the mid to late rounds with I mean Najee has kind of a stressful style because what was the most impressive thing for you that about Gallegos other than him being able to take a shot against Najee? What stands out in Gallegos' performance?
Oh man, I mean, his will and determination for me
Yes.
was
Yeah.
insane.
In the
Yeah,
kitchen. Like in the
yeah,
kitchen. I
yeah,
don't know if Carrillo has that in him.
yes.
Do you think? And so that bothers me because the later this fight goes, Najee we know is going to take one. We know he's gonna take one to give one, and he's fine with it. Now, if you think Carrillo pops like that, which I don't think he pops like that, then you probably like Carrillo in this one.
And I don't
I
think he
think
has the inside game like Gallegos had. I don't know if he's gonna be. Yeah, I don't know. I like Najee Lopez here. I don't know how,
mm,
but I think he wins. I
okay.
really do.
So on the 19% return. If you guys are into some guy like I like doing triples. I like finding. If I could build a money line triple and it's getting me plus money, that's my only goal. I don't do any tickets that I'm not doubling my bet, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I do have a triple. I like Najee here. When I got it, it was plus 112. Lopez on the money line, Marksman on the money line, and Alex Bray on the money line. That pays me plus 112. All I need for those boys is to win. Have you done tape on Bray versus Ingram?
No, I didn't.
Do you
No,
have an opinion on it or no? Do you know anything about Alex Bray?
I don't. That's no, I didn't.
Okay.
Oh,
I would. I
just
between me
Ingram.
and you, and
Yeah,
between me and you, I'd like for you to watch what you can, and then us chat about it behind the scenes because I taped him yesterday. I did a little bit of a little uh, expedited prediction video. It was like a 60-second reel. And mate, this kid's 20 years old. He's a 6'3", 154-pounder. His dad's had him fighting since he was 7. His dad was a fighter. His brother's a fighter. He turned pro in 15. They took him to Panama. They took him to Colombia to get pro fights. He's now 20. He's fighting in Orlando against Ingram. And initially, when I saw the line, I thought to myself, how the hell is
very
Ingram?
close. Yeah, it's a very
How's he
close
the
line.
dog here? I was like, Ingram's the dog. We just saw him fight the Cuban. And after I familiarized myself with Bray and rewatched Ingram, I was like, mate, Bray is going to pick. Bray is sharp, technical. He's good from the outside. He's
Mm.
accurate, and he's only 20. And when you watch him, and we'll see if it's because Ingram is 27. Ingram has been in there with the better competition. It's like if Bray could withstand if he could keep his composure, which he looks like he's the type of guy to do it. Kind of like when Bud was coming up, people would talk about Bud Crawford's composure. When who did he take? He stepped in on short notice, which kind of like wrote his legacy early on. He fought a big puncher early on, Bud did, and he put his hand up, and it kind of he stopped the guy. And I remember people were talking about the next day, man, this young fighter, his composure, and Bray's going to answer a lot of questions for me against Ingram. I think he's in a good spot. He looks good. It'd be interesting to see what you see.
Okay,
But
yeah, no, now you got me interested in it because
yeah, since you didn't, what other fights? What's on your radar
um,
on that ProBox
obviously,
card?
yeah, obviously Lester Martinez. He's
Let's
fighting.
talk.
Plantic. Lester Martinez kind of was flat against Aleem, especially now that we saw Diego Pacheco stop Aleem.
That's my
So,
God. Diego's my boy. Nobody likes Diego.
no, rumor is he might be fighting Resendez. We'll see how that goes.
That's easy money. That's easy
LA.
money for him.
It's in LA, yeah.
Who would you like in that spot?
I mean, Resendez just what? Did he just lose every round to Munguia?
He looked so bad. I don't want to talk about it.
Is this what we're doing with Diego, though? This is the matchmaking they keep doing? Like, he just fought
what it
coming
is?
off a loss.
Well, you know what it is that, they realize he is only 25. Look at his resume. You're going to be hard-pressed to see a kid at 25 in that division, or anyone in his division who has a better resume. He's fought a lot of good guys so far in his career, but he's not well-rounded. He's not polished.
No.
But I think he's getting there, man. I like the coaching change. I like what he looked like since he left Benavidez Senior and he linked up with McGirt, right? Didn't he? He was with Buddy.
Yeah. So
and he was sitting on shots. He was much more.
I see why they turned down two title opportunities. So,
who'd they turn down?
And Billy, and they turned down Shiraz. He was mandatory for Shiraz. He turned it down.
I think he's a year or two away from that. I'm not saying. And Shiraz didn't look good in his last. Boxing did not look is good so interesting.
Did not look good. Yeah,
it was
looked great against Edgar Berlanga. It's weird. Oh.
And then didn't look good against Carlos. And it's like, oh, this is who Shiraz is then now. I think we have
Carlos Adames looked flat. Yeah.
I think we have a big enough sample size now to say, oh, Shiraz, as bettors, we're going to have to worry about this guy mentally. Like, which version are we going to get as bettors? Because, all you need to see a couple times. We've seen 3 different versions of him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so back to Lester.
Yeah, he's fighting Luke Plantic, which is crazy because he's actually, as far as European fighter, he's actually very good. I would argue he's better than Shiraz's last 2 opponents, and Aleem Bejic and who was that? Simon Humenberger. I think Luke Plantic is much better. And those guys had world title shots, right? Lester Martinez is fighting him outside of Jacob Bank. He's probably one of the better European fighters out of Europe at 168. But when I watch him on tape, I just can't help but think like this is kind of made for Lester Martinez. The style, like he hits hard enough, but not too hard where I don't think it's gonna bother Lester. Likes to come forward. I don't think it's gonna be hard for Martinez to find him. I really like Martinez here, but this is another one. I don't know if he's gonna be able to stop him. I wouldn't be surprised if Martinez gets to him and stops him. But I like Lester Martinez to win here.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Croatia has a big weekend of boxing, man. You got Plantic here, and then you got Hrgovic trying to be the first heavyweight champ. But Plantic here in this spot, I don't know if you saw Tommy Raynon broke this down. He had some interesting takes about Plantic too. I think he likes the stoppage, the Lester Martinez. Lester was sold to us as a puncher, and 3 of his last 4 fights have gone the distance, which is fine as you level up your opposition.
Yeah.
For me, Lester, it's what he's lacking. A lot of his punches are coming at the same speed, especially his backhand. He doesn't. I don't know if he's lacking a gear or if he rushes his work, but he's durable. He has a chin. He could take a shot. He's always in shape. It's just, is he the puncher that they said he was? And if he's not, it's fine. So if he stops Luca here, I'd actually be
That's a
impressed.
statement. Yeah, that's a statement.
Yeah.
Gears are so big for me. I don't know if anyone else watches and thinks like, man, they could just do more. You know what that reminds
Yes.
me of? And I was saying it in a few of the chats I was just watching recently was
Who?
Nikita Zoo. I said
Okay.
Nikita Zoo needs another gear here just to separate himself in these rounds. Once he had him, like he just needs to throw like 2 or 3 more punches to really like stamp
Yep.
that round. I'm like, he could just do a little more. He just looked kind of, just lacked that extra gear that would make him level up. So that was just frustrating for me. But
You know
I
who
know
comes
what
to
you're saying.
mind? You know who comes to mind when you bring that up is Sandor Martin. If Sandor Martin,
Oh
every
yeah,
time I watch his fights,
yeah.
he gives away every single last 20 seconds of every closed round.
Yeah.
This kid's record could look a lot different, Sandor Martin, if he had just a
They give
little more.
judges a reason not to
Yeah.
give him the round. Yeah, it's frustrating.
It's on that
Mm-hmm.
same card though. Nikita is one of my favorite Aussie prospects. Is a kid named Callum Peters. I don't know if you've
Oh
watched his
yeah,
style. He's
yeah.
only 21. He is one of the most opportunistic punchers. He's the type of guy, old school way, throwing
168.
everything at 50%, touch, and then boom. So yeah,
Is he
he was just
160 or 168?
60.
He's 160.
No, 60,
I know he
68.
fought Joshan James. He
Yeah,
fights 160, 160. He 168? Yeah.
I think let me double check. I think Callum is a 68.
Because if he is 168, that's the Aussie that should be fighting Jamal Charlo, not the 154 pounder he's dragging
Oh,
up.
Cohen. Yeah,
That
Cohen
would
moves a
be,
deer.
yeah, that
Yeah.
would be a great fight. Yeah.
I don't know if Callum fights at he fights at
160?
middleweight. No, he fights at
160?
middleweight.
Yeah. Well, what does
Yeah.
Cohen fights at 154? So
Yeah,
and
Cohen fights at
and Charlo's at
154.
168. They're dragging him
Yeah.
up,
Yeah.
which is
He
crazy.
knows what he's
Yeah.
doing. Charlie
Yeah.
that is crazy. So
Yeah.
Lester, do you think there's a path to victory for Luca, or is it just going to be one of these sort of decision fights?
Oh man. I don't know. I didn't ask. I don't. Lester Martinez would really have to drop the ball on this. I just think he's all around better. I really think he's all around better.
I'm not trying to cause sort of chaos in the chat, but what we've seen it happen before. I'm not going to say any names, but what if the last half of the round, the fight against Mbili, we saw Lester look good,
Mm-hmm.
and then we saw the performance with Aleem, in which it was kind of like it didn't really turn the needle.
No.
Do you think Lester has leveled out? Do you think that we've seen his ceiling?
You know what? I've thought about that, and I think this is the fight that's going to tell us that. Because I think he needs I think people know that he looked flat last fight. The Mbili fight probably could have went either way. I know a lot of people sided with Martinez, but he needs a big performance here. He needs ProBox is setting him up for one too. They give him a great opponent for him to level up here. He's going to have a big crowd. He's going to be the face possibly of Guatemalan boxing. So he needs he can't have a 7-5 performance. He can't just struggle across to decision. He needs some really big moments in this fight. But I'm saying stylistically, I think ProBox is giving him a very good opponent to accomplish that, to have a good breakthrough.
Do you agree with Jay's comment here?
I said that too. But Les Martinez isn't big. If he did move to 175, I would say it's for the competition. The competition, I think, he could be more successful. As in, like Virgil Ortiz, I said this. He probably doesn't need to move to 160, but he would run game at 160 because the competition from 160, 154. I think Les Martinez would have some easier paths at 175, if that makes sense.
I want to ask the chat. We're floating between 80 and 90. Guys, what do you guys think? Do you think Lester stops Luca? Do you think Lester wins on points, or do you think Lester loses? I want to know where their money's at. And then I know there's somebody else on this card. Are you a Cardenas? Are you a Ramon Cardenas guy or no?
Yeah, I like Ramon. Yeah, I think he's a little bit now like under a spotlight because his few moments with Inoue. But yeah, I like Ramon Cardenas. Yeah.
Do you think that it's one of these things where sometimes, obviously he got elevated in a stoppage loss because we know the knockdown with Inoue, in the public's eye, which doesn't always happen in boxing. It's good when it does happen. And he's young enough, and he does have an exciting style. is this matchup again with Carrillo? Because is he is he on upset alert or no?
No, I think he'll be all right. I really don't like the price on Ramon. I stayed away from it
Uh huh.
because he is defensively vulnerable. So I stayed away from it. But he's a fun, exciting fighter. But I don't know. I don't like putting too much stock into fighters because of their loss, and that's kind of what he's known
Exactly.
for. That's what he's known for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In the last month or last few months, it'll come to mind. There were a couple 50-50 fights where the chat was torn, and I always settle on the fact. One of my sort of thought process is like, if a guy is best known for their losses, I'm not sold. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's there's certain guys out there that their best moment came in a loss. It's like that's not
Look,
really. It's
TJ
hard to bet
TJ
on that guy.
Doheny, I thought had some really solid rounds against Inoue. Also, I thought he
He
was
did.
doing well at times. He's older, but that doesn't mean now I'm putting him on a.
TJ was a bit of a dog, man. TJ had a
Yeah,
good
he
career,
took.
former world champion. Long, awkward, tough. Like yeah,
Yeah,
he was part of that
he
wave. There
fought
was this
out of Australia too, right? He fought. I
yeah,
know
there
he's
was this
Irish, but he fought out of.
there was
Yeah,
this wave of Irish fighters
yeah,
during I think it was there was that scandal in Ireland, MTK Global. It was that boxing promotion where I know the chat will let me
yeah.
know
I know what you're
the
talking.
guy ended up getting sent to he got sent to prison for
Yeah,
like
and they all
mob
fled to
crimes,
Australia.
and they all fled to Australia.
That's
TJ
great.
was one of them.
Yeah,
Daryl Foley was another one.
yeah.
Who's the kid that Charlo stopped? Dennis Hogan was another
Dennis Hogan.
one.
Yeah, yeah.
And they all
Okay.
used to train at my old gym at Bondi Boxing Club with Del Vecchio.
Yeah,
But
solid
it,
fighters. Hmm.
yeah, decent. You know what? One of them is actually fighting for. He's fighting Ben. Um, dude, it's next month.
Ben
His name's
Whitaker.
Ben Whitaker. Yeah,
Oh, Callum Wallace, right? Wallace.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He was one of them. He's getting a world title shot. What have you looked at that fight or no?
No, I haven't yet. No, no.
Okay, we'll get to that. So the boys are asking. They're all over the show. Have you looked at Noakes? Have you looked at? Is there
Oh
anything in
yeah.
Europe?
So,
What do you like in Europe?
man, I like Sam Noakes. And speaking about losses, and we were just
Uh-huh.
saying not putting too.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
listen,
So
listen.
so we
Let me.
can't have there can be
Yeah, I know.
outliers.
Right. Yeah. But you can't. Yeah. There is though, right? Because you got to go off of somebody's performance and who they fought at the time, how they look. Like for me, I'll say it off rip. I think Abdullah Mason's going to be special. I think he's a special fighter. So for Sam Noakes to be as competitive as he was and have his moments against Abdullah Mason, I mean he won like so much class. I didn't think it was going to be that competitive. I really didn't. Man. And Denny's Berenchek, I think this is a good opponent for Sam Noakes. I'll be honest, coming off
38 years old.
38, inactive, coming off a beating from Keyshawn where he didn't win a second. And I remember him I was taping him for the Emmanuel Navarrete fight.
Navarrete fight at
I
35.
watched his fight against Anthony Yiggett, who I really don't rate respectively on the world scene. A decent fighter, but he struggled in that fight. That was very nip tuck, that was a very close fight. I'm like, if you're struggling with Anthony Yiggett, and I did that tape for Keyshawn because I was like, I think Keyshawn's going to win in 6 rounds. People thought I was crazy. People were picking Denny's Berenchek. I was like, nah, Denny's, because he was with Loma's team, Usyk's team. They came out of that,
Olympian,
Olympic pedigree.
Papachenko.
I was like, guys, chill with that. This is not the Olympics. The Olympics is an entirely different sport. That's great to have those fundamentals, but a lot of Olympians don't become champions, and a lot of champions aren't Olympians. This is different, and that's kind of what happened, And I think Sam. No, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to stop him. I think it's his 10-rounder, but I think Sam Noakes should win pretty comfortable here.
I was impressed with Sam Noakes' willingness to fight Mason. Both guys, both guys leveled up. Della really proved his mettle as a young fighter, and Noakes, people, I guess myself included, the durability, the dog. And you know what? We saw it with his country mate, the kid who knocked out Subaru Matias.
Oh yeah,
Dalton
Smith.
Yeah, like
That's another
other
one.
than the knockout, what I took from Dalton's performance is similar to what I took from Noakes' performance. I know one won and the other lost. I didn't know Dalton. I knew he was good, but to fight Subriel's fight and beat him at that type of fight, I was like, that takes a very brave, confident fighter. And I left a believer. I was like, all right, he's a beast. Like he's willing to go into those dark, dangerous waters. And Noakes did the same with Mason, and he was still, he was winning rounds. It was a close fight.
Very competitive
he did
fight.
not look out of sort. He didn't look a level below. If anything, it'll be interesting in 10 years if Mason has a career that I think he's going to have, and I think you think he's going to have as well. I bet you that's that fight Mason will look back on and talk about later on in his career. That Sam Noakes fight is the one that probably gave him the confidence he needed to know that he was ready for the world level, that he could handle, because that was a lot of pressure Noakes was put. They call him Midge. That he's in your face, annoying, not going anywhere.
Oh, yeah. Great chin, good power, good fundamentals.
Bro.
Listen, if that's the same night but a different opponent, I really felt like he fought the best lightweight in the world. Outside of Shakur. Shakur's at 140. But Abdullah Mason, I'm putting him above, Raymond Murataya, Kid Austin. I'm putting him above, Lamont Roach. So Sam Noakes, to me, he fought the best lightweight available, and he was competitive. That's how high I rate Abdullah Mason. Abdullah's young, of course, but so that he gained a lot of stock in that loss. But I just don't think maybe Denny's has some dog left, go the distance here, but
10-rounder. Dennis hasn't fought in over a year. I always get hesitant with guys in their late 30s who retire and then come back, who in his last fight, obviously we know what happened. People talk about Dennis and the lean on him for this fight is, but he beat Navarrete. I'm like, bro, that was Navarrete at 135. That was before Navarrete.
How slow did he look? How did Navarrete look? Who would have beaten Navarrete there?
That's not the same guy who fought
really
Sugar
bad.
Nunes.
Give me someone really.
People are acting like Baranchik's performance was over the guy who, Navarrete has been on paper. Tell him he has a nutritionist. You could see the difference, him hiring a nutritionist in his performance against Sugar. That guy, so the Baranchik win over him didn't move the needle for me.
It looked like he didn't train. It looked like Navarrete didn't train. For some reason, whenever Navarrete fights a Mexican, it's like he's locked in and focused. Like Oscar Valdez, his best performances are ones that, he's like, oh no, this is Mexico. He's like, no. Like, I'm not going to be shamed in my country. But like Charlie Suarez, he's like he's eating Twinkies and drinking Pepsi. Like he doesn't care. But that's what it seemed like for Denis Baranchik. That was the sloppiest performance I've seen from him. He was telegraphing, pushing punches. His footwork was a mess. He looked like he was disinterested, and it was still a close fight. So, Noakes a dog.
So I agree. I like. I have Noakes. I think I might not have put anything out publicly, but I do like Noakes to win this fight. I've been getting burned as of late with the. Actually, I won my last prop bet. I took the Aussies by knockouts, Callum and Kira. But I might tread with.
It's only a 10-rounder. I mean, look, I think plus money's on points, right?
And Toxic says Sam Noakes might stop him late.
Maybe,
the odds right now, plus money points are plus 195. The knockouts 81%. I could be entertained with a late stoppage. I don't know if I'm going to jump and play it.
Yeah,
it's going to be one of the. We'll see. Why is Denise coming back? What are his intentions? What's he trying to do here? At 38, is he really going to make a run?
Everyone else,
who's
they're getting paid.
Run?
Like Serhii Derevyanchenko. Serhii Derevyanchenko, similar age, came back.
Bro, he looked. Got to be honest, man. Sergey looked good though.
He looked.
Bro,
was he 40s? He looked. Yeah, he looked ripped.
His back, dude. He was sharp too. What I was impressed. And I know a lot of people. It's kind of a polarizing take. I really, really, really like Hackett. I'm sorry. He's an old school sort of cat. He's young. I like the risks he takes. Not every guy is going to retire a Hall of Famer undefeated. It's his style that's admirable for me.
Well, that's what won him that fight, was that he was able to push the pace and take risks.
Yeah. Derevyanchenko's backhand, though, was as sharp as
I've ever seen. He was catching. Yeah. A few years ago, maybe, but he was just, you could tell his legs weren't, he was his legs shape. Just weren't there.
He's 41, dude. Nobody
wants
to play.
You're not going to be. Yeah, he's not the same as when he's 31. So,
bro, that guy who lost to Jalil, he still beats a lot of guys.
At 160.
What do you think?
Absolutely. 160 is weak,
Yeah.
man. 160.
Jeez.
I'd probably favor him to beat Erislandy Lara. You
At
know,
this stage of the game, I
what's
mean,
Larry's best win at 160? Like Spike O'Sullivan?
exactly. Like,
You know, yeah.
he's a champ, but when people talk about Lara, they either talk about the Canelo
Yeah.
decision.
Not all champs. I call him a title holder. He holds four titles. There's 4 titles. There should only be 1 champion in each weight class. Everyone can get a title now.
I think it was either I heard it from you first. I think you said that before on a live, and then I also heard Paulie say that, and he's like, no, he's like, every division has a champion. Yeah. Every division has a champion, and then there's title holders.
Johnny, Rolly and Teo, just a 147. Are we really taking them serious as the best welterweights at 147? Like,
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Like maybe they're not even top 10. But, you know, if you're a big name personality, you can bring in, you know, eyes to sport, then you get a title or a title shot.
Shout out to the Wu-Tang Clan. RZA and Jizza says, Chill got to be from Long Island or North Jersey. He sounds like Chris Weidman.
I don't know who Chris Weidman is, but
Chris Weidman, UFC Hall of Famer, former UFC champion. Come on, man. I've had Chris on the show before when I used to do MMA only content.
I don't know.
But so we're talking now, Noakes.
Yo, another good fight on ProBox. Sorry, Jordan White and Luis Torres.
Short dog versus Valenzuela.
Yeah,
talk to me about it.
Jordan White, I thought he had the benefit of the doubt in Maryland against Rene Guerrion. I thought Rene beat his ass, like at least 8 rounds to 2. I thought at some points that fight could have been stopped. I don't know why those scorecards. I do know why the scorecards were close, because it was in Maryland. It was a hometown fight. He's not going to have that now in California. Luis Torres they're both fighting in California. Now, Luis Torres doesn't have the same type of pressure that Rene has. Rene comes in reckless, right? We remember him with Kid Austin. He just throws everything the kitchen sink, ran a chin, keeps throwing. Torres is a little more calculated, but he's got power in both hands. He can work the body. He came back from behind against the Brazilian Cardoso in his last fight. I thought he looked good. I think Jordan White might be a little gun shy here. I didn't like him in his last fight either. I watched his last fight against Willie Shaw. He wasn't really throwing as much. He just kind of squeaked by each round. I like Torres here. Unless Jordan can level up from what I've seen from both their last fights. I like Luis Torres.
So you think these odds are fair? Because a lot of the boys in the chat, you know, they're thinking they like White at plus money. Yeah. Now, you know, I'm no stranger to playing dogs, but I don't like forcing it. And so I'm not one of these guys to ever take a dog just like I go into every week. No, like I'm not taking
unless there's
bet.
a massive misprice.
I don't like doing throwaways. Like I really try to be. I have to kind of I want to be perfect. Everybody wants to be perfect every week, and a lot of people have entertained White here. I don't have action on this fight. Are you comfortable with Valenzuela on the money line? How comfortable are you 1 to 10? 10 being most comfortable.
I'd say 5. That's fair. It wouldn't surprise me it wouldn't surprise me because Torres was losing rounds to Cardoso, but Cardoso has better footwork. When he was keeping distance and range, he was really good. But like all Mexicans, they want an inside fight, and once you break distance in the inside, Torres goes to work.
There's a couple fights now. What is your? I don't want to bring it on the screen. I'm going to say a name. And I want to hear you. What comes to mind when I say Mauricio Lara?
Josh Warrington.
How old is Mauricio Lara?
I think he's like 28, 29. Is he?
He's 28. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, a lot of these Mexicans, they start boxing when they're like 3 years old. That's why. So they turn pro at like 14, 15. And then you think they're around forever. And it's like, oh, shit, he's in his 20s still.
Yeah. He had that moment in the UK. He was like 25, maybe 24 years old. He's fighting Carlos Ornelas, right?
Okay.
I have action on this fight. People are like, Johnny, there's so many fights, and I'm playing a prop on this fight. I taped them, and is this fight on your radar or no? I know it's not a. Okay,
no,
I'll move on. I'll move on. I'll move on.
I love Bronco though, but Bronco's another one where it's
kind of a head scratcher.
He's hit and miss. Yeah, he'll have these great world-class performances, and then he looks like a Mexican journeyman.
Bro, how about Gallardo? Gallardo fought Lindolfo Delgado And
Uh-huh.
I felt that Gallardo won the fight. Thank God they didn't give it to him because Delgado closed off some parlays. But the fight before that, Gallardo fought a clubber in TJ in a 6-rounder and got the brakes beaten off of him. Lost to a YMCA boxing coach, 5-1. They gave Gallardo the decision. And the fight before that, he got stopped pretty badly, right? But so he gets stopped pretty badly, loses to a clubber, but they gave him a decision, and then looked good against Delgado. I think like Lara kind of has that in him too. Like, what is that? Is that lack of conditioning, lack of preparation, not professional? What do you think? Like, you know what I'm
Definitely,
saying?
definitely professionalism. Definitely. Yeah, you're not consistent. You're not consistently training, not consistently focused.
Do you rate Brandon Mosqueda?
Wait, you're talking about Gabriel Galaz Valenzuela?
Go-
Is that yeah?
Yeah, I'm talking. Yeah,
Golas.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That, by the way, I heard who's going to be rumored against Adam Azim. I know someone put in the chat Subaru Matias might fight Adam Azim. I was told that's not true. I think it might be Galaz.
Golas.
Golas. Yeah,
Golas. Yeah, I
Valenzuela.
was calling him
Yeah,
Golas.
Golas.
So,
Yeah, Valenzuela. Yeah,
did you
Adam
think he
Azim.
beat Delgado?
I thought that was close. But
So close.
Lindolfo Delgado, he reminds me of like an Elijah Garcia, where he just
A
got
little
kind of,
bit.
yeah, he kind of, I don't know, he doesn't do enough to separate either.
Elijah
Yeah,
Garcia frustrates the hell out of me,
heavy
mate.
feet, heavy feet,
Frustrates the hell out of me.
but heavy hands, can be
Yeah,
outboxed or outworked at times. Slow
but then
starter.
he could look neat. But he could look neat. He
Yeah.
does some good things, and Elijah's still young. People threw Elijah away like 5 years ago. I thought he won his last fight. I'm sorry. He fought Kevin. Was it
I
Kevin
agree.
Newman?
Yeah,
Kevin
I
Newman. I
agree.
thought
I
Elijah did
had
enough to
Kevin
win.
Newman tickets. I had Kevin, and I didn't think he did enough. I was surprised when he got the decision. But that's another one. Like he could have did more. Garcia could have
Yeah.
did more to separate himself. So you let the judges, kind of
How'd you
dictate.
score Delgado versus Elvis Rodriguez?
Oh, I had that a draw.
Yeah,
I had that a draw. Was it a
That's
draw? It
another
was a draw,
close
right?
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I watched it with bias
Oh, he
because I
won.
played
Yeah, he won.
I
But
played
yeah, I had it a
Delgado on
draw.
the money line.
Yeah.
I played him on the money line, and he got. But when I rewatched, I was like, man, Rod probably won that fight. Elvis probably won that fight. They gave it to. I feel like
I agree.
Adolfo
Yeah.
Delgado's one of these guys that is like, is he that good? You know what I'm saying? Like
No,
how?
no, he's not. I'm telling you right now, he's very beatable. We've seen him. He's beatable. He's very beatable.
Yeah, yeah. He's
Yeah.
on.
You just need
I
two
never used.
fights, guys that aren't really world class, knocking out world class. That probably Golas Venezuela and Elvis Rodriguez. So he didn't look good in
All
those
right,
fights.
all right.
Yeah.
So Brandon Mosqueda. Do you know him? He's
No of
fighting
them.
Edwin.
Yeah.
He's fighting
Yeah.
Edwin Palomares. Brandon Mosqueda. When this week started, I got like 10 messages from different guys about him as a fighter. Brandon Mosqueda, and he has like this sort of style where people expect a lot of good things from him. So this is another knockout prop I'm playing because when you look at Palomares, what he's been through. Not the oldest, but he's been stopped a lot. Did you tape this or no? If you didn't, we'll move on.
Yeah, no, I didn't tape it. Just
Okay,
know
we'll
of
move
him.
on.
Yeah.
We'll move on.
Don't
So
forget Moses either. We got to talk about Moses.
let's get there. No,
Yeah.
we're there now. Talk to me.
They got two Moseses. Moses Jolly, right? Moses
How dare you?
Itauma.
Are you a Moses Jolly believer?
No, I look. I only watched one tape. I think it was his last fight, and he's got. Listen, what I like about him is that what you don't see from other heavyweights is volume. He throws his hand. A lot of heavyweights don't really throw. So there's variables and variants in that where you could go far with just volume alone. But he gets hit a lot. He's got no defense, right? He's kind of like a brawler. And I think Guido had that style matchup against Kingsley Ibea early in his career where he did struggle. But Guido has completely leveled up since that fight. He's got great distance control, much better feet, a solid jab, good backhand. Like he's somebody, there's a reason why Queensberry just signed Guido Vianello. They're not going to sign him for Queensberry is one of the best promotional companies right now, and they have a very good eye. Their matchmakers have a very good eye. They just let go of David Adelaide. They let him go to sign Guido Vianello. I don't think they're putting Guido in this fight with Moses Jolly to lose. I don't see that happening. So,
do you think that if Guido would rematch Kiki, he would do better? this time around? Or do you think that matchup he always short end of the stick against Kiki?
I think he needs probably a little more power for that. Yeah, that's going to be that's just a tough style because Kiki's also holding a lot. He's in your chest. He's just an awkward style unless you can do what Frank Sanchez did and have a perfectly timed one-shot counter to put you on your ass. Otherwise, he's going to most likely outwork you. That's just a style matchup. But he impressed me against Makhmanov, of course, because he controlled range, landed flush. I thought he looked great there. And then Alexis Barari, the Canadian fighter, who was very, very good. A lot of people didn't know him. I taped the shit out of him.
We taped him. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was what, 9-0? 9, like he was
more. Yeah. And he had very good, not even amateur back, but he's been fighting in the Olympics off and on while he was turning pro. Yeah, no, he's been active outside of just professional boxing. I thought he did well there. So unless like Moses, I don't know, something would have to go really wrong for Guido to win this. This should be a showcase fight, but it's interesting because it's an 8-rounder and Guido is plus money points. So that's kind of got me thinking like,
wow, I didn't know that.
And an 8-rounder, Moses Jolly, 6'6", in shape, never been stopped. It looks like he has a chin. Like he likes to grab, be close. Could have turned into a sloppy all of a sudden 8-round fight. Like
there's so much action, bro. I'm getting
there's so many fights on so many different cards. It's like so sometimes you got to pick and choose what you're going to bury your head into. There's not enough time.
Exactly.
I don't have, people ask me all the time. That's why you ask me some of these fights that I taped that I not. Like, bro, I got a full-time job. I got full-time kids. I'm like, I don't have time.
Exactly.
Yeah. We got other things going on. I can't watch.
People think,
45
because
fights.
I do this every day. Yeah. People think this is all I do. Same, dude. I got a whole different life, but this is what we love. So Moses Itauma, do you have action on the fight?
I do.
Talk to me.
I like this style for Moses Itauma. So I'll be straight out there with his athleticism, his punch variances, his punching, his angles, and how he's able to move around somebody that's going to have slow footwork like Hrgovic. Hrgovic, this is the thing now, to be a top 10 heavyweight, if you're 6'6", you got a good jab, a good chin, and a good backhand, bro, you could be a top 10 heavyweight. That's what Hrgovic is to me. He's nothing real special to me, but I see special things in Moses Itauma from my eye. He just has to go in and now show it and deliver it on the resume level. I think that's kind of what this fight is set up for.
In some of the circles you hang out in online, what is the most common prop that you're seeing passed around the groups with this fight?
Probably Moses by KO. They like Moses by KO. And
are they getting? Are you hearing anyone getting sexy with rounds?
No, a lot of discussions on the overs and unders. That's the big thing. Overs and unders.
Do you think it goes long or do you think it goes short?
I think if you, that's tough, man. Full disclaimer, I haven't played it, but I think I would probably go over the 5 or the 6. I'm thinking over the 5 or 6 because Hrgovic has got durable, a fucking block head, man. He's got a chin. Yeah, and he's going to be dangerous enough where Moses just can't come in through the front door without knocking. Like he's gonna have to be mindful and sharp. And this is where it's gonna get dicey with Moses Itauma. We don't know how he's gonna look after round 8. We don't know if his legs aren't gonna be the same. That's just he's not gonna have the same legs, so he's gonna slow down. And what happens if Filip has taken his best shots and now he's starting to get tired? And now he's eating shots late. You're eating shots late, 9 through 12. Is your chin going to be this? We don't know. You haven't really taken a big shot here. And not that Hrgovic has big shot, but he can land that right hand over and over. But then you have the scar tissue. Hrgovic cuts every single fight badly. Both eyes. He's been cutting for years. That doesn't get better. It gets worse. And most of the time is accurate. He's going to be lighting him up. Because Hrgovic also gasses, lowers his hands. I mean, for me, it's a bad look when you're dragging through a close decision with Joe Joyce, this version of Joe. And that's what happened. I thought he looked awful against Joe Joyce. So, even David Adelaide, right? David Adelaide was landing flush on him, rocking him. How many shots do you think it's like this?
Do you think it's fair to say, or is it too much expectation, if Moses is who people think he is in terms of being ordained as the guy to carry the heavyweight division moving forward for the unforeseeable future, that he should stop Hrgovic?
Yeah, that's fair. You have to. Listen, if we're going to put him on a pedestal and everybody is, Moses is the truth, Moses, then you have to do pedestal-like things. And getting a 115, 112 decision against Hrgovic, yeah, congrats, you're 21, you did it. But no, that's not weird. That's not what we're praising. We're praising you for something that's, you're doing something really spectacular. And that's what, I don't know, that's what I'm looking at. I want to see something spectacular and special. And that is you not struggling. That is you delivering a knockout over Hrgovic, because there's a reason why they passed the Frank Sanchez took step-aside money. This is an easier fight in their eyes, which I agree. I think Frank Sanchez is more dangerous. I think out of all the titles, I think, Daniel Dubois is more dangerous. I think Ajit Kayaval is more dangerous. Outside of Gassiev, I think Gassiev would get lit up by Moses Itauma. But if I'm going to match Moses for a world title heavyweight fight, like I'm sure you would probably pick the style Hrgovic, right? He's a little slower. Yeah. His defense is leaky. He's easy to hit. He's not
There's
quick.
just things that
his footwork's off.
In terms of stressfulness for Moses facing certain stresses at this stage, how young he is in his pro career, I think this matchmaking is perfect for him.
Perfect, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Did he look good against Dempsey McCain? I didn't think he right? Hrgovic, I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
He fought,
no. Yeah. And the thing also, you bring up a good point. The longer, the questions with Moses, obviously we want to see what he looks like getting drawn out. We want to see how he takes a shot. I want to see any young fighter with shine. I want to see them having to be the nail and see what happens when they're forced to be in that position. Do they
Perfect
have
example. Boots, Alexander. People are like, Boots, right? We don't want to see it close.
Answered a lot of questions.
Yeah. Boots is special. He's got the athleticism, but you're not going to show it until you fight a top tier, and people rate top tier Hrgovic. Alexander Zayas had the weight, had the size advantage. He's top tier, but Boots did something spectacular. Boots did something special, and everyone was putting him on that pedestal. Am I right? Like before the fight, Boots is, he's a pound for pound. Well, we need a pound for pound performance. He delivered there, and that's the same category I'm putting Moses here. I think that's fair.
It's a good call.
Yeah.
What was for me going into Xander versus Boots? The question I had for Boots was, how will he react when he's in trouble? Like that, I brought that up in my breakdown. I was like, what I want to see, and I was like, this isn't a negative thing. And some guys took it like I was saying that I can't believe you're saying that you question Boots being a dog. I was like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I want to see Boots hurt. I want to see him hurt, and I want to see how he handles that situation. Not like, and we saw it. Xander had him wobbled, and we saw Boots fight through it.
Yeah, you can't just say he has a chin or has guts unless now you see it and you deliver it.
Exactly.
And now you'll say, yeah, and it's not a knock on him. Xander Zayas can crack. He's a big dude, and he's a world class. He's a champion, unified champion.
Exactly.
So he took his best shot, and he gave it back and leveled up. That's what you want to see. Yeah, that's what you want to see.
There used to be a checklist. There used to be a checklist when you were moving a fighter. You wanted to see how they looked against southpaws, how they looked against big punchers, how they looked against movers. You want to see how they looked against a guy with a good jab. You know what I'm saying? How you're moving a guy that you have expectations for. One of those checklists used to be, I want to see how he takes a punch. And so when I'm doing my film and talking about these guys that we put on the pedestal, and if I haven't seen a guy get hurt, I'm gonna bring it up. I want to see how they handle that.
And that's same with Moses that we're talking about now. Moses.
So this is the tie-in, and you brought up the point as it gets lengthened out, and if it does go late, Moses doesn't have an efficient style at heavyweight. He relies a lot on explosivity. He relies a lot on like speed. And
would you say that's similar to Boots? Would you say he's?
Yeah, bro. I just think in terms of the style, yeah.
Or
Boots,
Jaya Pataya. Jaya Pataya relies on a lot of athleticism, explosive combinations.
And so we saw when Jai couldn't get Brandon out of there early, we saw Brandon go the distance. It's because, so what I'm thinking is, you got to think that Hrgovic, he's the seasoned guy, he's a pro, he has the amateur background, he's going to have a game plan. And he says he's going to come out and try to get the young kid out of there early. I don't think that's the case. I think Hrgovic is going to, if he's smart, is going to try to draw him out. Maybe get some boost from the fans because he's not engaging. Maybe try to, lengthen it out. That would have to be the game plan.
It has to be. It has to be. Why would you go after somebody that is so dangerous early. How many first, second round knockouts does most of the time? I mean, why would you even push that? If he does, he could possibly do that. But I think his strengths would be his experience going late, would be trying to take this 6-12 and tire him out, play the long game.
And this is, as a young fighter, when you're moving a young fighter, this is a benefit of fighting a veteran. You want to see your young guy, you know, like one of the things that, you know, Nikita's handler said after the fight, you know, disregarding the outcome, they were like, you know, the positive for this is we got to see Nikita go the distance with a real veteran. People were sleeping on Ben, dude. I knew Ben Monty is a kid who started boxing as a 12-year-old champion, never had been defeated, was fighting in his hometown. And I was like, Nikita's not going to stop him. I was like, Ben Monty is crafty, technical enough. But afterwards, Nikita, you know, he got those rounds in. He doesn't, you know, this is for Moses. It wouldn't be the end of the world. It's interesting. He's going to get a lot of shit if he doesn't stop Hrgovic. But the silver lining would have to be, well, at least he got rounds in. I mean,
if he goes the distance, he's got to.
People are going to say fraud check. No, 100%. They're going to say.
But it's got to be a beating. He's got to put a beating on it. He can't have a close decision or drop 4 or 5 rounds. You can't do it.
Do you know my play?
No, I don't.
Have you seen it?
No.
Okay.
Just money line, right? I don't know. Did you take something? What else?
I did take it. And so this is why I don't know if it's my.
That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. What he said.
1 through 6.
You got 1 through 6?
Yeah, I was like, I think Moses, and I'm gambling on what I think we're looking at. So I'm gambling on the fact that I think Moses is that guy. So he has 18 minutes to get this slow, marauding, big guy who gets hit a lot. He has 18 minutes to get him out of there. That's what I'm gambling on, is the 18 minutes. And I think that if Moses is that guy, I got it at plus 110. 1 through 6, 18 minutes. I think that because if Moses can't get him out of there in 18 minutes, it gets interesting.
Yeah, it gets interesting. Probably banks those rounds. I mean, does he really gas? This is the thing, too. Like, I've seen Hrgovic gas before. I thought he gassed. He didn't look great against Zhang. He didn't look great against Joyce. I mean, and this is such a poor version of Joyce. Like, why are you getting hit by Joyce? You shouldn't be getting hit by Joyce. Yeah, he's dropping rounds to Joe Joyce.
It's a bad look.
Yeah, no, it's a bad look. You know, David Adelaide, I know the scorecards were very wide, but it was very competitive.
Like, look when we're talking about the optics of what Hrgovic has seen in the heavyweight. This is something that a lot of people aren't bringing up, is when you're looking at an opponent, you're like, you know, over a long career through sparring and your opponents, you've seen all the looks. Why Moses has so much shine is because they're heralding him as this hybrid super athlete, optically in the ring, moving like these guys haven't seen before, right? And he also could punch, and he's also so Hrgovic, like, he thinks that Moses is just going to stand flat-footed in front of him. Yeah. Like, he's super athletic.
Yeah, he's gonna be reading all of Hrgovic. Like, Hrgovic doesn't have. He throws that jab into the backhand. He doesn't really create angles. He drops his hands early in the fight. He's so defensively leaky. So I can see the 1 through 6. And look, if Moses gets him out 1 through 6, he's absolutely the real deal.
Let's do it. I think the heavyweight division, I mean, could you imagine he goes out of there and starches Hrgovic? People will still say then, you know, it's boxing. They'll be like, yeah, Hrgovic stunk. You know, he should have did that.
Or if he had the bet, like, obviously Dubois, there was some headbutting going on, but Dubois, let's not lie, like, he couldn't miss with the right hand. He kept laying the right hand over and over again on Hrgovic. Hrgovic made 0 adjustments. And
what's the best case scenario for Moses? I know, other than, you know, first, like, in terms of, like, the business side, what does the finish for Moses need to look like? Early, late, stoppage, domination? Like, you know what I'm saying?
For me, it would be, if I'm his handlers, I just want to see domination. Like, listen, this guy's so good, he shouldn't even belong in the ring. Where he's almost playing with him. A step ahead, he can jab. I'll make you eat a jab when I want you to eat a jab. I'll make you move when I want you to move. When he's just the ring generalship, like, you look at him and be like, he looks like the veteran in the ring. That's what I want to see. And then hopefully he can lay up so much damage that a ref's like, this is almost like the level up David Allen and Hrgovic, where there was just levels in the ring. I want to see that. I want to see Moses is, that's the David Allen there is Hrgovic. I want to see levels there. That's what I know. My expectations are very high because I'm talking like Hrgovic is not as good as he is, but I'm just thinking maybe Moses is really that good. And if he is, then that's what we're going to see. That's what I want to see anyways.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that's a great way of putting it. The levels and what a certain guy, because Hrgovic, it's for Moses, the questions are going to be his inexperience, obviously, his age, not being tested sort of thing. But the upside is like the heavyweight division. The upside is almost the negatives. Like everything that they're saying, why you shouldn't jump on the bandwagon. Yeah, but Mike Tyson and then Moses and then Floyd in terms of the youngest heavyweight champions of all time. You know what I'm saying? Like that's historic, and he can't help that he's young. He can only, you know what I'm saying? So
Very
it's
young.
interesting.
Yeah, I mean they're moving him. They're moving. Yeah,
I wonder what because you live in the States and I live in Australia. I wonder what the vibe is in the UK with Moses. Boys, there's like over 100 of you guys in here. I'm sure we got a lot of UK boys. I know Keys is from the UK. What do you think that is? Is he heralded in the UK?
This is what I don't know. I think he needs some big wins because he's so young. Like, will he be the next AJ? AJ fills stadiums, but AJ didn't really have his big moments until he was mid-20s. Later on in 20, Moses is starting a lot earlier, but they really need that heavy. UK always had great heavyweights.
Well, the Olympics really helped AJ. You know what I mean? Like,
coming out the Olympics, he had a big name. He didn't really have much of a personality. He's not a bit like a Tyson Fury's a character. He's a personality, right?
He just had the optics.
More reserved. Yeah, he had the optics, right? He's all chiseled down. Great promoter behind him. But I don't think Moses needs any of that. I think Moses' skills are that's what's going to promote him. If he can really do a number on Hrgovic, and then now you can set up a Daniel Dubois fight, which is very known in the UK. You got Fabio Wardley. You have some, if he can become unified or undisputed at such an early age, and then maybe had what the Klitschko's did of an era of who's going to be, I mean, this kid could be something special, but he's got to create that.
It'd be great for the sport. I mean, it's
great for the sport. Yeah.
And you know what? To be alive on the timeline of having another one of, a heavyweight having a run, an exciting heavyweight too, because, Klitschko style.
So boring. Both the brothers are so
I know,
awful. From Lennox Lewis fight, it's like,
and so Moses does not fight like that.
No.
I got to wrap it up shortly. What else is there? A fight we didn't talk about? The boys love. It's always a pleasure when you come on.
Yeah, go through the chat. Questions. I guess let them ask. Yeah, I don't.
All right, boys, chat. We'll leave it up to you. Is there any fights now that TJ and myself didn't talk about that you guys have questions on? Any 50-50s
or upcoming fights? Yeah,
Okay, there's Keys is in the UK. He says I don't think Itauma is going to be as big a name as AJ, but he would sleep prime it. Interesting. Okay, so Moore versus Jennings.
Yeah, Brandon Moore versus Jennings. This is the problem, man. Jennings is 41. Mm-hmm. Was inactive. I think retired. Came back from retirement. And Brandon Moore is not. It's not like Brandon Moore is that good, but he's gotten better. He had, I think it was a soccer player, or maybe I'm confusing them with F.A. Jagua, but I think they were both soccer players. They're very good soccer players. But they come from an athletic background where they got into boxing late, right? Brandon Moore, but he's gotten a lot better. I just think now, what does Brian Jennings have left? I think Moore will be good enough to win here. So I know Savage, he almost stopped Savage. He had him hurt, buzz, drop, but he won every round with ease. I just think Moore is going to win this fight. Outside of getting clipped, he should win this fight.
Are you playing that?
No, I didn't play it.
Neither am I. With so much, go on.
The heavyweights are tough, man. There's too much variables in a heavyweight.
This is one of those weekends where there's so much action. It's important to have boundaries with how you bet. You don't have to chase. You don't have to freaking bet on every single fight. Pick a card or pick a handful of fighters and just stick to it.
Oh,
you know what I mean? There's just so much.
Mayor, Michaela Mayer and Cameron.
Did you take Mayer Cameron?
Yeah. I love that fight. I know both those fighters well. I love that fight.
All right, talk to me.
I'm edging it. No, this is the first part I got to say, is that it's in the UK.
Mhm.
And you know what comes next when I say UK? It's UK judging.
Uh-huh.
And that's always an issue. Hopefully it's a MVP card and we get fair cards here. But Michaela Mayer, I think her volume and pace, that's what I'm relying on. And this is at 154. She's been a little more suited now. It's a higher weight class than Chantel Cameron. So I think she's going to edge this on points. But this is going to be a back and forth. This is a good fight to play a draw. I think there's going to be a lot of close rounds here.
Sneaky. Sneaky. You're turning the clock back when you predicted the draw on my
I
live
hope there's not a
stream
draw,
with
but
um the two California fighters. Well, one was from Mexico. Who was it?
Gucci
Jorge.
Flores maybe or
Yeah,
yeah.
Gucci versus Jorge. You predicted the draw.
Yeah.
That's when you got forever goated status, in my opinion. I was like, this dude went on a line and predict. That's insane. And so the draw's not a bad play here then.
Yeah, she's had close fights already. Michaela Mayer with Alyssa Baumgartner and Natasha Jonas. Both of those were in the UK, and she got robbed on both of those. The Sandy Ryan, she got, that was a close fight. She won those, but those were close. Chantel Cameron, she's had close scorecards too. So
What is Chantel Cameron? What's her strengths?
she's very good, solid fundamentally. She can box. She's a boxer puncher. She's good. She's good. I just feel like
What are Mayer's strengths?
she's also a boxer puncher. She puts a little more volume. And before I got on here,
They have a lot of similarities.
They have a lot of
man.
similarities. That's why I'm saying I think the size, which is now is at 154, they really both, I think their last fights might have been at 154, but other than that, Chantel Cameron's been strictly at 140. Yeah, she's been strictly at 140. Meyer's been at 146. So she's used to a little more size, used to fighting bigger women, world-class women. She fought Sandy Ryan both fights at 146. So, and then she just had a good fight against Mary Spencer at 150, 154. And she won every round. She pushed her back. I think this fight has to be who's going to win this fight is who's dictating center ring and who's forcing the action. And if that's the bigger, stronger girl, which I think maybe Michaela Mayer, I think she's going to win the fight.
Do you think that, because I was actually shocked when I saw that she chose to travel to the UK for this fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Michaela. Because that's
big money. It's got to be big money. Yeah. And like I said, she's lost her two fights in the UK. She lost her two fights in the UK. She fought Baumgartner, even though and
at 135 pounds, I think they fought at.
It was 129, 130.
She fought her at 130.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And I think Natasha Jonas might have been at 135. And that fight wasn't close. I don't know how it was a split decision loss. I had her winning like 8-2, 7-3. I didn't think that was that close. But sometimes it's like that. Yeah, sometimes it's like that. So,
how'd you score the trilogy with Serrano and Katie Taylor?
The third fight, Katie Taylor, that was the most clear, decisive win. The third fight, she really had that one in the bag. I thought.
Agree.
The first,
she made.
Yeah. The first two, I told Katie Taylor personally. I was with her somewhere where I was very lucky and fortunate to meet her, and I told her, I was like, the first two fights, there's a lot of criticism. I think they could have went either way. You needed that third fight. I told you needed that third fight. That's like the nail in the coffin. All right, you might have thought the other two could have won, but the third fight, that's what the people are going to remember. You won the trilogy. You won the third fight. It puts all that controversy to bed. For me, that's what I thought. That's what I told her. She smiled and laughed at that because I think, I was like, you really, showed out in the third fight. It was separation.
Yeah. One of my favorite backhands in boxing, mate. Like Katie Taylor, when she
fights rough. She's rough, but
headbutting, dirty. Hey, man, she's a fighter, dude. Yeah. There's so many fights. We didn't even touch on the Japanese card. You got any takes?
No, I'm not. Yeah,
I'm so, bro.
I'm swamped, man. I was swamped with so much tape.
TJ, I'm tired.
Yeah.
All right, brother. We've been on an hour and 20 minutes. There's still 95 in here, bro. I appreciate your work, man. Every time I get a message from you, I'm like, yes.
It's great chopping it up, man. With you and the guys in the chat. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you, and good luck this weekend, brother.
Thanks, man. Thanks. I'll talk to you.
I'll see you. All right, boys. I'll stay on for a couple minutes. What is going on? That's Chilltown. He'll probably never do it, but I've been trying to talk him into starting a YouTube channel. He'll probably never do it, but he's a beast. TJ is one of the brightest minds. He is, man. In terms of betting, TJ's a beast. I have nothing bad to say about him as a person, his reads. This is a guy that was messaging me on email 2 years ago. So like we were in email talk before I even started doing betting only content. And so he messaged me this morning. I was training, and he's like, "Hey mate, you going live today?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Can I jump on?" I was like, "Dude, 100%, dude." So he's in our Discord. It's another, if I have to ever sell our community in a positive way, Johnny, what's your elevator pitch of the JSB community? Well, it's filled with like-minded, professional, well-researched boxing minds, and when I say that, Chilltown's at the top of that list. So guys, just like the video. It'd be good to get close to, maybe we peaked at 110 viewers. It'd be close to one day get 100 likes on a video, but I'll be happy with 50. Mayor Cameron, I'm gonna just take some of the questions. What's your favorite prop this weekend? I told you, Moses 1 through 6. Darrell Thomas, he doesn't have one. He doesn't have one. And this is the best thing about Chilltown. Doesn't do social media. Doesn't do social media. He's kind of I think he's active on Twitter. So if you use Twitter, which I don't, he goes by Chilltown Boxing on Twitter, and I think he does have a nice little fan base there where he gives his reads, and he's a beast. Really, he really put me on to a lot of the South American fighters, South American prospects. If there's guys coming out of, even like if there's guys coming out of Mexico, guys coming out of Argentina, guys coming out of like, Puerto Rico, Latin America, he's always put me on like 6 months before everyone starts hearing about him. Arobio's fighting next week. Speaking of that part of the world, if you guys don't know who, I'm high on John Arobio, mate. He's fun. That Eye of the Tiger card is next week, guys. Feeding families. We have so much work, so much action. We're coming off a Wednesday night in Australia. We were one scorecard away from going perfect. We hit our money line Bet365 A-side parlay. We know the zoo draw voided on the Bet365, but that still hit. The zoo draw on my other betting account, Sportsbet, lost. I lost the most I've ever bet on that draw. I'm very open with my winnings, and I'm very open with my losses. But we did hit. We hit our knockout prop. Peters and Rustin at plus 185 hit. So there's a lot good. There's always more good than there is bad. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I always say we up. It's a philosophy. Chantel Cameron, Ramon Cardenas, thoughts. I like Cardenas on the money line. I think it's a fun fight, though. I'm not betting any of the girl cards, but I'm still watching the MVP card. There's a lot of action that, like, I'll give you my take on, but it doesn't mean I'm betting. All the JSB insiders know my plays. They're up right now. Go to the Patreon, go to YouTube members only section, and you'll see my slips. Now, there are, when Moses Itauma wins on Sunday, our quarterly parlay at plus 638 will hit. My prop is Moses 1 through 6 at plus 110. And then the VIPs have my 5-legger at plus 120. They have my knockout prop at plus 171. I just posted my September parlay. So every month we either create these quarterly parlays. I'm going to do them just month to month. This is a September parlay. It's an 18-legger and it pays plus 1,400. The VIPs have that one. And then today I posted a money line triple that pays plus 118. So you see a pattern here. Every single one of my tickets you see, if you're new to our community, you see them. They're in our member section. And more importantly, every single one of my tickets is always at least going to double your bet. And then one I haven't posted yet. I do have my Japanese parlay. I think I did post this. So check the tickets. I gave you my Japanese winners plus 114. Guys, I got to train. So I'm going to go downstairs to my gym and I'm going to deadlift and I'm going to back squat. And so wherever you are in the world, make sure you're doing well. Don't chase this weekend. There's a lot of action. You guys won't see me until my Monday morning, so after the fights. And if you're down financially, don't bet. Sometimes the best bets are the ones we don't make. If you're chasing, I would suggest take the weekend off. If you're winning, buy yourself something, buy your girl something, withdraw the money. If your account has money in it and you could pay a bill, if you could, some of you guys are big bettors. Uh, you know, no, nothing's worse than when we're on a hot streak and we get a little bit greedy and you try to double up, and then all the winnings that you won, all those reads that you had that you were right about, you have nothing to show for because you didn't withdraw anything. So there's boundaries and strategies that go way past picking winners. Okay. And that's just my advice on that.